us before I begin.
Okay. All right. Let's see if anybody shows up. We're doing a super quick Acaia Orbit discussion live thing because now it's coming out, and we're gonna go and watch our glorious friend Steve talk about things, and I think it should be a lot of fun. So I'm just gonna see if anybody shows up. I needed to make this public. There we go. Okay, let's see if anybody shows up here. But basically, we're going to do a quick live stream type of deal-y. See.
All right, I'm going to give.
See if anybody wants to come and hang out on discussing the Orbit, because I think this is a really cool grinder, and
right, I'm going to give,
and we will
just
see.
A couple of minutes for people to start.
Oh damn, we have 2 people. Let's go. That's more than what I expected.
Good so far.
Okay, so everybody is curious about this grinder, and we're just gonna discuss this thing. But I'm literally just gonna watch Steve talk about stuff, and then we'll see if.
All right, I'm going to give just a couple of minutes for people to start to join us before I.
We'll see what everyone says. I have not watched this yet. He tried to stream to YouTube. There was supposed to be the YouTube live.
Folks, welcome to the live stream.
Also, I'm pretty sure.
Glad to be here with you today.
Let's see if
My
everyone
name is
can
Steve,
hear things.
And today we're going to be going over the Orbit Eclipse Edition. This is the final version of the Orbit, which is launching next week. And I have so much to go over. I'm not really going to delay with.
You probably need a fast forward. No, we don't have the grinder.
Different from a later standard edition Orbit at this time.
Okay, it's a different color.
There is a possibility that as these Eclipse Edition grinders are built and shipped to customers, they might change somewhat in terms of the internal parts, but we don't expect the functionality to change all that much. It's basically going to be the same product, no matter if you're buyer number 300 or buyer number 1300 sometime later next year.
I'm trying to look at my YouTube chat. Here we go.
The things that might change are probably not very discernible by the end user. It
yes,
is possible
Steve
that
is an
comes
awesome presenter. Okay, now I have my chat up so I can actually read stuff.
Again, we're basically planning on keeping.
Send you some ads? I don't know. How do I do that?
Now, let's talk about the actual features of the grinder. It is a 64 millimeter stepless single dosing grinder. The quite nice is a spout with a spring-loaded knocking mechanism, which I'll click for you here. That actually helps clear basically the last 1/10 to 2/10 of a gram of coffee dust that might be stuck in the spout area. So again, if I put 18 grams in and let's say I get 17.8 out, I can give the knocker a couple of knocks.
Okay, that knocker looks cool.
That final.
Okay, so basically I am going to just like keep watching this, and let me catch up on the chat here. Yeah, so
all right, I'm going to give now with
and Instagram is being annoying.
This for
so I can't really
my
like
grinder
do
is
this.
the middle setting.
Okay.
This is 1,000 RPMs. We have an adjustment available from 600 to 1,500 RPM.
Okay, so it can go up to 1,500 RPM. I sort of sneak peeked, looked at some of. Let me refresh this. I sort of like sneak peeked, looked at some of the discussions in the Discord of like what everybody's talking about already. Yeah, I am using OBS because OBS is cool. See, we can do cool stuff like transition into back to normal stuff. Anyway, I think this is a really interesting grinder so far. Basically, yeah, this is an hour long, so we're just going to skip ahead.
I want you to be able to see.
Here we go. Let's look at the closer stuff.
This shot of espresso. Okay. we are. That looks.
Do I
pretty
know
good to
the
me.
important stuff? I don't.
then
I wanted to go over to Steve's place because he has 3 of them, but he lives in the middle of nowhere in New York, or like really far away from normal places.
Now I will lock in. So I'm going to use my lunar and.
Okay, I want to see where he grinds the coffee.
Again, that total range is 600 to 1500, and you can set that in increments of 50 to whatever you prefer.
Okay, so you can have 50
now, why
RPM
would you change
increments.
RPM? That's a good question. I think generally the general knowledge about RPM in terms of grinding is that it does have an effect on grind uniformity. If you were to grind 2 coffees at the same exact grind setting,
he's telling
so
us
the
about
burrs are the same exact distance apart.
He's telling us about how
one is at 1600
RPM affects
RPM,
things.
1500 RPM. There is likely going to be a change in particle uniformity. That is perhaps a little hard to qualify, but you would see it if you're pulling espresso, for example. You would see it in a difference of flow rate and shot time. Whether or not one is better than the other is totally subjective. You might decide that you prefer to grind very fast. You might decide you prefer to grind fast for certain roast levels.
I'm literally
slow
just
for others.
catching up
So
on this. So this is like what I would normally do, but I figured I would live stream this. Okay.
As you prefer. Now, I'd like to start right off and just give you an espresso grinding demo, so you get a sense of how fast we grind, how fine we grind, and what the espresso quality looks like. So I will turn this slightly.
So that's actually a pretty good size.
This demonstration is roasted by Say. They are an American
I'm
roaster
also
based in
drinking
New York.
Say right now.
And they are considered a fairly light roaster by American standards. I wanted to use
talking
a light
about Say.
coffee because
You guys should all buy Say. It's awesome.
Our typical calibration coffee is Finca Tamana by Tim Wendelboe, the Finca Tamana Espresso specifically. That's a fairly light Nordic-style light roast coffee. And when you use a light roast, a very dense coffee, you kind of put more demand on the grinder. You force it to, well, for one, there's a lot more torque in grinding light roast coffees. They're denser, sometimes they pack more closely together.
Okay, so you're going to tell us about how the grinder can grind light roast wheatgrass? Let's go. It won't stall, I hope.
That's why we wanted to go with these light roast coffees.
I've had lots of experiences with these types of grinders stalling. What?
This is a Columbia washed geisha coffee. It is about a month and change old, which is a good, well, -1. It is about a month.
Okay, so there's like that plastic hopper. So I believe there's like 2 versions of this hopper, and I don't want to say that it's going to be like a DF64E/P style thing where it's like, I don't know why you would use a bigger hopper on this type of grinder, to be honest. That sounds like an EG1. Whoa, hold on. Let's go back here. What is?
Say they typically are funnel -1, and from there I'll just continue my normal prep. So I'm on setting 2. All I have to do to start this up is push the button once.
Kind of sounds like an EG1 just listening to this. I actually think that power button on the front is like pretty slick because that means you have the full surface there to work with. You have like a bigger catch cup and everything. It does seem to take a while to grind, probably due to how like the beans are being fed in.
Now that the grinding is finished, it's going to auto purge.
I like that. Okay, I did not know
That
there was auto purge.
happens
That's really cool.
for all single dosing grind cycles. When it's sensed that the load on the burrs and the motor has diminished, it will continue for a couple of seconds, stop the motor, spin in reverse, and then spin back forward. And that auto purge function helps to clear a lot of the retained coffee. Spinning reverse
and then he has the knocker,
forward
then he can use the knocker on this.
That might be stuck on the wipers or various other parts.
And okay, we're getting that like high-pitched whining sound because there are wipers,
if I
of
wanted
course.
to, I can actually triple tap the front button and run an auto purge cycle.
Oh, that's super cool. You can triple tap. Dang, I kind of want to buy one of these, but.
And now I'll also give my.
I've read some things already, which I want to wait until Steve says these things before we conclude things. Hey, there's some coffee right there. What's going on? No, I'm just kidding. Or is that like a marker? I can't tell.
The prep that I've done here, I did add a paper filter to the bottom of my basket. That's just a step that I prefer. This is not necessary.
I wonder if Steve is like showing. I'm curious how fast this shot is going to flow. Like, are people? I know like normal people who are buying some of these grinders are going to be like, "This is terrible. That doesn't look like espresso." Because I know Steve was pulling some really light stuff earlier in his previous demos and whatnot, but we'll see.
There we are. Nice and quick. And one quick tap. I will pull the camera and
Okay, let's see how fast this flows. I
This
hope
is
it's
a
like.
flow profiling machine, so what I'm going to
I hope
do
it
is
goes
start
like
with a high flow
insane.
rate,
That'd be
just
hilarious.
to soak the top of the puck and then reduce that flow rate to let it sit for a second. And then as my pressure
It's like
starts
go full
to build, I'll
pressure, man.
return to full flow.
Okay, let's see what this looks like.
So now I'm letting that puck suck. I'm looking,
He said the word puck suck.
I'm looking at the shot mirror to see the saturation on the bottom of the basket. And now I've increased my flow rate.
Dang it.
When
Okay,
we do our dial-in for
he didn't
espressos
grind
with
super
these light
coarse.
roast coffees, what we're looking for is 18 grams in the basket to 50 grams out in the cup in around 30 to 35 seconds.
Oh man, he should have went like literally 15 seconds faster. That would have been super funny. So this grinder is gonna be 1350. That's like the. Okay, we're here. So you see, like, I already signed up for it. It comes stock with these the Mazzer 33M, I believe, which is I've never tasted those burrs, but they're probably all right, or more like traditional style ones. And I have seen that manual flat burr grinder that was. I'm really curious. I kind of want to get one just because I have experience using another manual flat burr grinder. But I want to kind of see if he shows off any of this other stuff because I haven't explored that yet. I mean,
So that
I haven't
is
even watched the rest of this yet.
Technically standard shot of espresso for 25 seconds or so.
Okay. This is him tasting it.
I can't vouch for all of them. Sometimes we have encountered issues where perhaps they don't really feed the way that we expect. Occasionally they're...
Now would be... oops.
A shorter version, which can be... We have...
okay, what else does it come with?
Here is this little spout extender. I quite like that, actually. Was to actually correctly. But that is just sort of par for the course in this kind of realm where you're creating a grinder that might be adaptable for other burr sets, but you cannot vouch for every burr set under the coffees. Maybe prefer medium roasts rather than these American light roasts.
Okay, he's talking about the Mazzers.
Have a shorter time to grind. You probably also grind a little bit more coarsely than I have here.
Okay.
Again, I've also mentioned you might be using a different burr set. We are using a 64mm burr platform that allows us to use other burrs from other manufacturers. We have
put SSPs in there and have a great
time. The ones that we are
time.
fairly assured of are SSP burrs, including the multi-purpose burrs and cast version 2 burrs. I've personally put a number of sets in the grinders that I've used over the past year. I can't vouch for all of them.
Steve had like, do you see those
issues
other,
with
do you guys see this, like his other two grinders there? That's like, you know, he had like 3 of these grinders with all the different burrs. So what I will say is that this grinder has 100% been thoroughly tested by our good friend Steve, and I think it's a good buy if you can buy it. I've seen some things
sort of par for the course in
these comments, but we'll see.
Creating a grinder that might be adaptable for other burr sets, but you cannot vouch for every burr set. So wrapped and detached in the curtain.
Okay, let's see what else it comes with.
Edition grinder. I mentioned that we do have a bit of swag that comes with the grinder, so I'd like to walk through just a quick sort of unboxing experience. Inside the box,
what do we get with the grinder?
There will be a power cable installed, or not installed, wrapped and detached in the curtain. You will get a 58mm quart filter dosing cup. This is our dosing cup medium.
Dude, that's like $50 right there.
You also get this little accessories box, and inside the accessories box is a magnetic foot, just like this. You might have noticed that my quart filter cup will magnetically attach itself just below the spout. We have what I think you can see here is this little spout.
Okay, that's really cool. So there's like that magnetic little spout there?
I quite like that, actually. I prefer to use it whether I'm using a quart filter dosing cup like this or another container. I like that spout extender quite a lot. But it does just...
Okay, so this is good added value. You know, like this thing here. Let's see if I can find it on the website. Is like, where is it? Dude, $40 right there. That's some value.
You can take it off if you don't prefer it. Inside the accessory box, of course, we also have a number of small items. So we have some thumb screws, which can be attached to the back of the spout in place of the Phillips head screws. These are handy if you prefer to take...
I think we get the fancy magnetic pads or something to hold the lunar down.
Necessary, but in the grinders quite frequently. We do have a hex wrench that is used for these screws on the side, sort of posts of the attachment of the front cap here. There's these 2 little strips, which I'll show you. They attach right to the bottom of the lunar on either side. It's probably a little hard to see because this is a black lunar, but we have one here, left and right side.
Yeah, this is the content that we need, man.
The magnetic base plate on the orbit itself. That's for grind by weight, which we'll get to in just a moment. And that is it for this small accessories box. We also have a slightly larger sort of documents kit. And this includes the quick start guide.
Is there a manual?
Which is a pamphlet that gives you a bunch of information, just basic information about running the grinder. This is a shorter version, kind of a companion to the actual full product manual.
Okay. Let's see. Let me catch up on chat real quick. Sorry. Screw alignment will be interesting. Yeah, like I actually think that's pretty good, to be honest. But I don't really feel, okay, so people are talking about price, right? Like $13.50, is that bad? On one hand, yes, I think it can be bad because this is going to be their first grinder. And that's always a little scary, especially when you are launching a brand new product and it is a boutique product. But knowing Acaia and knowing some of the folks there and the products that they create, I actually think this is a very safe buy. But also, like, they're going to take care of you. You know, you're buying from a company that actually exists. So if the grinder breaks or anything, I'm 100% sure you're going to get taken care of. I can't really say the same for some other, like AliExpress specials that can carry 64 millimeter burrs. And that's kind of like why we advocate for buying, if you just want 64 mil burrs, you buy like a DF64 from like Me Coffee or Espresso Outlet, because these are guys that are
which we include as PDF on the website,
like actually able to take care of you.
We also have this paper template. This paper template is used
he
to
dropped it.
strips to the base of your lunar. It lines up. You can see there's cutout here.
Oh my God, we have a cutout for you could align things, but that means I have to take off the strips that I currently have. And do they sell them? Do I have to buy more now? Like on my lunar, I have the anti-slip strips. Does that mean like I have to buy more of those strips? I don't know if it's even on the site, but anyway, it's all a ploy to sell more of the little strips. I think out of the align, I don't know about like alignment out of the box, right? Like, I feel like it's going to be good. I just don't know like what their QC process is versus something like Option-O, right? Like Option-O, these guys are crazy, and they're posting like factory photos of them doing stuff, and they're like showing you that they're aligning things, and these people are putting in some effort. But I don't know how many people, like, I feel like for this price point, I just want to buy it and not ever have to touch it. That's kind of my thought on all of this. It's just like, if I'm spending $1,000 on a grinder, or really like this is more so 1,500 to 2,000 price bracket, right? Like all of these, the P64 type of stuff. I don't ever want to have to touch it. I like that I can touch things, but it's like, I feel like I would just buy it and never touch anything.
Here for the actual magnetic strips themselves, the two screws on the bottom of the lunar, and then
because that's what I'm paying a lot of money for. Like on these Cafetex, I'm not touching anything.
And of course, what kit could they complete without some stickers?
Nice, those stickers, you're paying $1,500 for stickers, let's go.
Not the Eclipse edition swag, so every Orbit comes with these tools.
I want a sticker bomb
in addition,
my Orbit
some swag.
if
So
I buy one.
Limited edition Orbit Eclipse edition hat. Pretty nice, actually. I
have
oh
my God, beautiful.
From the same company that I really love, so I hope you guys love these hats. We also got a couple of other nice items. Maybe we have some letterpress thank you cards. There's a bit of...
Can I get a signed Steve edition Orbit? Is that a possibility?
Information here on submitting thoughts and feedback for Eclipse edition Orbit owners. We also have a custom enamel pin to commemorate the launch of the Orbit. Eclipse edition buyers also get a 53mm dosing cup. I use these. You actually saw me use one already.
Oh, okay. Wait, you get the 50. Okay, this is the Eclipse edition, so it's the special edition. Wait. So we get the. You get these two then, right? Like you get this one. This one's the 53mm, or I'm not sure anymore. But we get like a custom one, man.
They're really great for that, but also if you have a smaller pore filter, this is.
Dude, those pieces of metal are expensive.
And dosing for a smaller pore filter.
Added value right there. That hat is going to go on eBay for a lot more.
4mm set. If you have a dosing funnel and something like a La Pavoni, a 49 or 51mm basket, this also does work. But you would.
Dude, $100 of metal. Let's go.
We also get an anti-static brush. These are pretty nice. They're fairly sturdy. Just a steel brush, horsehair, and they're nice anti-static, which is great for cleaning off any residue from your spouts. And the final item that I don't have, unfortunately, is a way to brew notebook, which is really nice for recording your grind settings, your shot times.
Bringing in a notebook? Oh my God.
So we have a nice little swag kit. That will be shipping separately from the Eclipse edition grinder. So those are packed.
Okay, so the grinder's probably going to come from Taiwan or something, and then.
So you arrive in separate shipments, just to give you a heads up.
Okay, or like they're gonna get you. You're gonna get them.
Some of the more technical features that we have. I've mentioned grind by weight already. I think one question that's burning in everybody's mind when I mention grind by weight is, why does a single dose grinder have grind by weight in the first place?
Okay, I want this answer too. Why does a single dose grinder have grind by weight? This is important, guys, because I've been scratching my head and I've been like, I've been trying to figure out how do we like, how do you actually answer this question? But I just want, Okay, grinder comes from California. Awesome. That's great. I love that. Is it? It says, yeah, it looks pretty small. That's great. Like I honestly have been very tempted by
I've
this.
mentioned grind by weight already. I think one question.
Okay, let's hear the Steve grind by weight answer.
Is why does a single dose grinder have grind by weight in the first place? The short answer is just versatility. It is built into the grinder. You do not have to use it. Your grinder arrives grind by weight ready, but if you're a dedicated single doser, it's optional. You don't have to use it. However,
I hope he takes out the
I like to
hopper.
use grind by weight, even with the short funnel, because it's very useful for dialing in a coffee. If you get into that
okay,
kind of
good answer. I like that.
Measure a dose, pour it in.
I'm pretty sure you can fit. I'm pretty sure you could fit like 40 grams up here, like this little dish here. Then like, okay, great. Like, that's good.
Put it into your
I'm a fan.
filter, etc.
Saves 2 minutes of your time.
And you do that
or something.
3 or 4 or 8 times to dial in a brand new coffee. Well, guess what? Grind by weight is really useful.
Or you do like a hopper. You stick the hopper on it.
So if I want to do grind by weight, I'll turn on my lunar.
Okay, how does this work?
Once my lunar's on,
You need an app, I think, too, right?
I just put the scale on the platform, and in about 1 second, 1 to 2 seconds, it connects automatically.
Oh, that's so sick. You just stick it auto hooks up. Now, what I'm curious about is here's what I'm curious about is if we have. Right, so the grind size will change. Okay, so here is what I'm very curious about is if you have a decent with the lunar. So like, say I have my decent, my Acaia scale, and my Orbit. Do things explode? Because Bluetooth is a little wacky, from my understanding.
Now we have,
but anyway.
On the left side, we have the RPM, and on the right, we have our.
Does he bring us closer to this?
Like,
okay, so they're using the lunar as a display to show us RPM. I see. Right. So we're able to see our RPM values here. You're able to see like the RPM fluctuations as well, which is really cool.
To change either of those is long press the tare button, and then my power on the left and my tare on the right become. Like decrease and increase respectively. So power is decrease, tare is
okay, and then you can use the lunar as an RPM controller. That's really cool, but that's a lot of things to remember. So we're gonna need to like remember the multiple layers that the lunar already has. Then we're gonna need to remember the additional layers that the scale will now give us on the grinder. That's oh my god, Min gave me $1. What a god. That is literally the first amount of money I've ever gotten on a live stream, ever. I think, okay, anyway, very cool. I know that, Min, if I ever see you in real life, I'll give you your money back or something. Okay. I don't think the grinder you don't get anything. Maybe they should sell like a combo.
It will be.
But okay, I'm very excited about this. I'm just like, I think this is one of these things where it's like he's explaining all of these different features to you. Like you get more features when you use the scale, and that acts as the display. But the problem is like if you verbally say all these things, you're like, oh my god, they're so many different settings now, and I feel like this is something that we're gonna need to get our hands on, and like once you actually start using it, it totally makes sense. Like if you actually put it, for those of you guys have used the lunar, right? You're like, if you actually write out all this different steps of what you're doing, it is a little complicated. But once you start actually using the lunar, a lot of the settings make sense, and they're completely unlabeled as well. So
basically,
I actually think it's a really great design choice from their end there. I think I agree with CJ. Yeah, like 99% of people are probably just going to single dose. I have like some really slight use cases of this grinder where it's like if I'm trying to host a big event or like hang out with people, I would actually just stick the hopper on this guy, and it would probably do a really great job.
Weight and then RPM for this setting. So I will long press tare. I can tap the tare button to increase, tap the power to decrease, and then wait a moment, and it will.
Does that work in real time?
Instead.
Oh no, I don't know if it works in real time. Like I think it has to save the settings. Let's find out.
And then after a moment, it will save those settings in the scale. You can do this for all three of those presets. So you can set the RPM, you can set the weight for all three. Basically, the
you can have so you can have presetted. That's pretty cool.
It's very, very.
I don't know. I'm like really nitpicking here, but like I already know of multiple people who have multiple Acaia scales. I'm like very curious what would happen if you have like there's a lot of Bluetooth stuff going on. I don't have that technical background to know, but I'm just like, what if can I like change scales and change settings? I don't know.
I think. And then from there, let's say I want to.
There's a button on the grinder for 3. Okay. Yes.
Just grind
That's
a
good.
Of 18-gram coffees. I can just open my bag.
So this is what's really nice about this here. I think this is a really great use case of RPM adjustments on the fly. Is that there are kind of two integrations of RPM adjustments that I've seen recently in the world of RPM profiling. That's like super super cool. Is someone figured out on the Cafetech monoliths how to RPM profile. That's like one thing that I can see. I don't know if they've even talked about this because I've been really busy. I haven't even kept up on that. Is like, can we say like start at X RPM, then ramp to this, hold for a certain amount of seconds, and then all of that. I think that is going to be awesome. Okay. And then what is also really cool is that for certain types of coffees, what's been really fun for me is like if I'm doing filter grinding, I could just be like, oh, I want to grind this at 100 RPM or 300 RPM or 500 RPM and just see how the fines become influenced there. And I think that's a really cool integration of it. So that's really, really cool. And that's what I'm excited about this is the ease of use to adjust RPM, because like on something like the EG1 it goes by single digit increments, right? And like it's just or it doesn't go by single. I think it's like 10 RPM, but it's really really slow if you want to go from like 1500 RPM to 500 RPM. Even on the Cafetechs, I think the Levercraft does a pretty good job, but you can't really buy a Levercraft, and that controller is hilarious. But this is really great because this now lets us keep track of RPMs, and we actually can see like a visual indication of the value versus the Option O grinders, which is like, I don't know what 4 means, right? Or like, I don't know if I'm like slightly past 4 or 5 or 6, what RPM value is that value. So this is really great that it's actually going to display the RPM values to us, which is
continuously
awesome.
Grind, make small changes to my grind setting, and pull shots. If I want to continue using...
I would love to go like 420, 666, and 690. And like, you know, some of these coffees could benefit from the RPM profiling or different RPMs.
I just pull it off, and in about 1 second it reverts back to espresso mode. So it's very quick to change back and forth. You know.
Okay, so we'll switch between the different, the scale will switch between different modes.
This grind by weight feature is
such a show-off.
Enjoy
Acaia, so cool.
Primarily. Again, if you're just dialing in that fresh bag of coffee, you can use the Lunar.
Okay, let's catch up on the chat real quick. Okay, so I think this is really, really interesting. Yeah, like I would be really curious. Yeah, so Sam, I would be really curious if we can adjust the RPM profile throughout the grind cycle. So essentially you start like with a slow RPM, then you go to fast, then you go to slow, right? Like I think this is already doing that in the sense of it is purging, but there's some really interesting things that we've seen recently with like RPM profiling. Okay, yeah, that is sick. I really want one now.
Grind by weight, just use that for dial in, and then you don't really have to worry about it anymore. I also think, I haven't done it myself, but if you're entertaining, let's say you have people over for brunch or an after meal espresso or something like that, and you need to make 5 or 6 coffees pretty quickly, that's another great function. You just push the
Okay, he's talking about like, yeah, parties, right? Like you hopper it and then you just...
Now the retention is a little bit higher in grind weight mode. So if you are leaving beans in the...
You just grind a ton. But yeah, like if you're not like tapping in everything and puffering and whatnot, your retention's gonna be higher. Makes sense.
If you're only grinding by weight for a single session for a dial-in, for example, you don't really need to worry too much about purge. Now, let's also talk about the app very quickly. I've mentioned a few of those features, and I'll show you a little bit here.
We can triangulate his password. If you look at his...
I have my app open. This is on
okay.
With my Orbit on, I can connect to the Orbit. We're connected now.
I like that the app actually works at this point in time.
On my Orbit screen, you'll see a number of features. There's these 3 green buttons. There is an RPM readout. This is a live RPM readout. There's a live weight readout as well. I would assume that I have a lunar scale.
Yeah, it's an hour-long stream. I don't want to stream for an hour. Or like, I don't want to watch this super slow, sorry.
It tries to stick as closely as possible to the desired RPM. So let's say it's 1,000 RPM. You will see this graph basically chart ramp up as it starts from 0.
Okay, yeah, makes sense that we see RPM fluctuations.
That is going to be a bit variable. Processing coffee kind of is pretty...
Oh no. I think my camera briefly cut out. There we go. Okay, we're back. I need to just turn off this one setting on my camera because it's full. There we go. Cool. Okay. Sorry, I think my audio died temporarily. Am I back? Okay, there we go. I think I'm back now. All right, let's see. Yeah, I'm using like my regular camera as a webcam right now, and this thing is definitely uses a lot of. It's like it gets hot. Okay, someone talks about what. Nice headphones. Yes, these are the HD6XX, which are my like beater headphones. Is this Brian reacting to Steve reacting to how awesome the Orbit is? Absolutely. We can do these types of things.
Variable, it's not super consistent, but you will see basically this line sort of wavering around that target.
I kind of want a hot pink one. I told him, I asked if they could make like a pink one, a rainbow one, give us some cool colors.
RPM control. They may, I don't want to make any accusations here, but they may basically have a set power being delivered to the motor that doesn't require that the motor stay at that RPM. It's just delivering power equivalent to a certain RPM. So when the coffee beans are loaded into the Burrs, it can drop the RPM because there's an excess.
So the RPM will drop. Cool.
What we're trying to do is hit and stick to that RPM as quickly as possible in the grind cycle. We'll also see at the bottom there is 4 buttons, A, B, C, and M. A, B, and C are the preset profiles that I've mentioned so far. M is a manual control. So what that allows us to do, it enables this slider up here. So when
manual control, sick.
When I turn my grinder on, I can drag the RPM slider up and down to vary the RPM in real time. And we
does he bring it closer where we can like hear that?
A pretty interesting feature, I think. It's not something that I personally experimented with a whole ton yet.
So one thing that was really interesting, or just kind of like fun / hilarious to do on something like the EG1 and P100 is like you just set the RPM to the highest value and you pour the beans in, and the burrs are spinning so fast that they don't even feed. It's absolutely hilarious. Yeah, a Slayer modded or like lever, would be really crazy.
Like a potentiometer dial or something like that on another variable RPM grinder. It allows you to change it in real time should that be something you're interested in. One thing that might be interesting is, for example, doing a very long slow ramp up or long slow ramp down in RPM to sort of see how that changes your dynamics.
Yeah, okay, he's talking about RPM profiling. Great.
Of a grinder can influence.
I didn't know you could do this with this grinder. I have not kept up. There are so many grinders that came out. I don't even know anymore.
The leftmost is like a quick spin sort of purge, if you like.
Okay, we have purge option. Dang, I'm like really curious about the range now. Like, could I be? I don't know how far. I would assume this is Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. Do we know? Does anybody know if it's Wi-Fi or Bluetooth to this grinder?
Another 10th.
Like, I just think it'd be hilarious to like see how far away you could be before. I mean, I don't know I'm pretty sure it depends on what phone you have, but like, okay, Bluetooth. Yeah, that'd be absolutely hilarious to like just to like trigger your grinder from like wherever. I guess if you had a hopper, that'd be fun. But we're getting into like wacky stuff now.
The center button is just a start-stop, so I can start and stop the grinder manually, and I can do that in all 3 presets. And then the final rightmost button is that purge function that I've mentioned already. So just one tap, it will spin backwards and then spin forwards at 2,000 RPM.
Okay, so it spins forward and
then
backwards.
finally,
Cool.
Just to kind of go over how we actually configure our settings.
Can we grind in reverse?
Here. So if I select A, B, or C, my presets, there's a little slider menu at the top right.
Okay, we have
here,
presets.
Grinder remaining at 1,200 RPM for 15 seconds. I can set that.
Okay, that's sick. I didn't even get to this, or like I was talking about it earlier in the stream, is RPM profiling.
And you'll basically get another graph here showing you
this is
the start
great.
phase and RPM and the end phase and RPM.
So here's the really interesting fun stuff with RPM profiling is like now we can go into an infinite number of layers of, or a lot of layers, not infinite, but like a lot of layers of how do we want things to taste. I think this is going to be really interesting with some of these SSP burrs to really like drastically influence the amount of fines there. But yeah. Can I crank the RPM? I don't know. Dude, if you get a red speed burr, they're already red. I would love like a green one.
Again, that gets into the dynamics of changing RPM and how that affects the actual grind uniformity. So
yeah, I think we're still figuring out like RPM profiling and what does it do. But like,
totally optional. When you get a grinder, you unpack it out of the box, you plug it in, and you're ready to go. You can just go ahead and use it. But if you'd like to access some of the other features, the app is free. You just connect it to your phone, and now you can change and configure things as well. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is the alignment function. So we've gotten quite a lot.
Okay, alignment. This is the exciting part, where actually the really interesting thing with alignment on some of these grinders is like, I just there is another grinder coming out at some point in time, which we will hopefully discuss. But essentially, alignment should be easy in my opinion with a grinder of this price point. I think anything sub $1,000, if it's 64 millimeter, it's like you got to put in some effort here. So, or effort there, right? Like JT64, DF64. Obviously depends on where you buy it and how much effort you put in. But like once you put in the effort, you usually are good. I'm curious, like how I know I saw some other things regarding this, but I think it should be just very easy. I think these are just like the magnetic or the little screw hole things.
A lot of questions about alignment. I think that makes a lot of sense. This sort of grinder category of these 64 millimeter grinders is very. There's a lot of people that are interested in burr alignment. So as I mentioned last year in our demonstration, we have what we're calling alignment screws, which are on the bottom.
Yeah,
of the
alignment.
burr.
Yeah.
They oppose the mounting screws that are on the face of the burr. So these screws hold the burr down.
So we can
the
like
alignment screws change
adjust them from the back.
Pushing against the bottom of the burr itself. That allows you to.
Now the question here is more on SSP's side. I'm pretty sure this is going to be milled really well. It's going to be great. The variances are probably going to be down to the burrs, not necessarily Acaia's manufacturing.
Change your burr alignment just with a twist of a screw. You don't need to use shim stock. You don't need to find shim stock. And you can.
I don't need a Reynolds Wrap sponsorship. Great.
Basically, just very slightly tweak these screws and get a much better alignment out of your burrs. The stationary carrier, which I have here, the stationary carrier does not currently have those alignment screws. That's something that we're investigating. It's a little bit more tricky to machine into this carrier, but it might be possible. If you
Okay, so we may just have to shim the top burr or the stationary burr.
do you feel you need to?
I think that's the top. Wait, no, that should be the bottom. Okay, yeah, I'm getting this thing's like rotated around.
Just the plane of your stationary burr, you would do that with shim material at present. If it does change.
Right. Okay. So that saves a lot of pain. There is you can just only need to shim one burr, potentially shim one burr. Depends on how lucky you are.
That the alignment is possible with screws instead of shims. Now the alignment that we're trying to achieve from factory takes a little bit of describing.
Yeah, that it could, but like. It could like I would be curious how long it would take before things get out of alignment / like that really depends on a lot of factors, but we will have to see.
Rather than try and say, we want to achieve 10 micron runout or something like that, we wanted a way to be able to do this in our factory in a controlled but efficient manner, basically. So we have tools and jigs that allow us to measure our burrs and how well aligned they are, but we also use sort of qualitative metrics for for how well alignment might be without having to use those tools, if that makes sense. So one metric
So he said it's really hard for them to put it into the other carrier from an engineering perspective. But I think they're also investigating. So
using is the distance between the 0 point where the burrs are fully locked together. So if you could imagine these two burrs are fully making contact surface to surface. That is the 0 or the lock point. The distance between that and the first touch point, which is the point where those burrs, as you're adjusting finer and running the motor, they make an audible noise
Okay, so this is really exciting. I think this will save a lot of time.
The distance between those two, our factory standard is basically.
But they're actually like
steps.
telling you about the testing that they're doing.
That's the thickness of like a few human hairs. If a grinder is compliant, that means that those 2 points are within 2 to 2.5 marks on the dial.
Okay, he's telling us about what they're doing in the factory.
Some of them have actually come out better than that, but that easily achieves it pretty much every time.
Okay, great.
And as I said, we do have other
there is
metrics
QC
for
here.
that, but the main thing that we want users and buyers to take away is that something that they can repeat at home is the 0 point and the touch point are within 2 to 2.5 numbers on the dial. So that's something you open the box.
Okay, so we always will know that our 0 point is like 2 dial. Okay, good.
You'll have a mark on your dial that indicates the factory touch point, and you can find the 0 point as well, and it should be between 2 to 2.5. Marks on the dial. Also, you should be able to grind a light roast coffee and get that 18 to 50 out. If it's much lighter than Tim Wendelboe, it might be a little more difficult to achieve, but Tim Wendelboe is a pretty good example of a light roast coffee. There are definitely other lighter coffees out there. But again, so that is the basic alignment metric we're trying to achieve. If you are the type to open a grinder and you want to achieve better alignment, it's possible. Again, we have those alignment screws, and then...
I love how he said, if possible. Wait, did he say that? He said, what did Steve say?
Basic alignment metric we're trying to achieve.
He's like, if you are the type of person to open up a grinder.
To open a grinder and you want to achieve better alignment, it's possible.
Oh, it's possible. No, he didn't say. Okay. He's like, he didn't say, no, our alignment is so good that you don't need to ever open it.
Again,
okay,
we have those alignment screws, and then in the case of the stationary burr, you might need to place a shim or two.
Yeah, we'll have to probably shim for the stationary burr, depending on how lucky you are in the SSP RNG lottery.
Finally, a few people have asked about accessories, including international purchases at this time. So sometime in 2023, the standard edition Orbit will be available to buyers in the EU, in Asia, elsewhere.
Okay, so Eclipse, I think, is the first one that comes out.
Very, very sorry.
How do I buy one of these now?
Availability at this time.
I think I signed up for the emails.
See a good question. That's 1 p.m. Eastern time. That is correct. So 10 a.m.
I want to buy one, but I don't know if...
and that is on the Orbit, or that will be on the Orbit page as well, so we'll let everybody know.
Oh god, we're reading comments.
All right, from here, I have a pretty healthy list of user questions, so let me grab this sheet real quick. I'm going to be going over these Q&A, and then we've also been collecting some questions.
Okay. Let's see. 30. Oh god. Is that okay? What is the reaction to this? I'm like very curious. Let's look into some of these threads. I've been out of the... I need to see like this live reaction of people here. Okay. People are in these discords are like...
So, I'm going to run down the list. I've answered some of these already.
30 units to ship.
But
oof.
So alignment, how will it be aligned from factory? I've already covered. That 0 point to touch point is the best sort of heuristic for. And will again, it's with our Burr carrier. Burrless off the motor. Bots all of the coffee. You're confident that you have that patience. I wouldn't.
Man, he's prepared. He's got stuff printed out. Okay.
You have no store cable. You have the spout. It's the set them.
Okay.
As what your carryover might be.
Oh my god, are people just like grilling Steve on stuff?
You might be able to see here. I have two distinct rings. The lower ring is the actual grind adjustment. That's stepless.
Okay, we have a stepless grind adjustment.
Adjust your grind. The ring on top of it is what we call the detent ring. If I turn this, you might hear it click. So that has 120 clicks per rotation. It spins freely from the adjustment dial itself. What I have used it for, I have a little triangle indicator here. I align that with my touch point, my Burr touch point.
Okay, cool. So that's just like it is like niche zero type of a deal.
At the same time, and kind of.
Oh, so you can really shift your.
To move this a little bit closer so you can see.
You can basically shift your grind sizes. Okay, this is useful. It's like EG1 style, but easier to use. I don't have to like lift something up and then rotate it around. I really like the clicks there, so that means it's going to be pretty easy to actually switch between grind sizes. Yeah.
Actually,
so if I want to go from like filter,
circle is just sort of kind of
filter to espresso. If you want to use this as a single grinder, I feel like I would just buy this and only use it for filter.
But then we also have.
I just think it's pretty.
A sort of a.
Oh, we have bigger dots.
An indicator system. So there's it's just a helper diagram to let you know which direction you turn the dial to grind finer or coarser. So we have small dot over here progressing to
okay, good. It tells you finer, coarser. Great.
So that's saying if you turn the dial to the left, you go coarser. If you turn it to the right, you go finer. So that detent ring is multifunctional. You can use it for whatever you like. As I mentioned, there's 100 clicks per rotation. 100 clicks per rotation. And it spins freely from the actual adjustment ring. So you can use the detent ring for whatever you like.
Great.
All right. That is going to wrap it up for today. Again, and buyers to take away is that there's something that they can repeat at home. 2.5 March 27. 3, the standard edition Orbit will.
Okay, hold on. Let me look at this again.
Grinders themselves ship from our fulfillment center in California.
Ship from California?
We'll also be including a free swag kit for Eclipse buyers for the first 500
I want a Steve signed swag kit, please.
Portland, so they do ship separately. Just to
Comes
explain the U.S. restriction, this is mainly a support concern. This is our first grinder. We're very confident in our ability to make a good functioning grinder, but we also know that even
I'm very confident that it's going to be great.
Time-tested products, sometimes things go wrong. So our U.S. support team, 500 Eclipse units, fully support this grinder. So
here, how many are there?
Excluding international purchases at this time. Once those 500 Eclipse units are worked,
so you're going to ship 500 first, make sure everyone's happy, nail out all the problems, and then they're going to go global, I think.
Once the standard edition is out, I don't have an actual ETA, but once the standard edition is out, that will basically be when we begin to roll out to other countries and other distribution.
Okay.
So sometime in 2023, Q&A, and then once the standard... finally... a few people have asked about accessories. So some other accessories. We don't have an ET. Unfortunately, will not be available this year. 250 grams of beans. Butters will be 30 units.
Oh my God. Okay, where are we? We're at 40, 32. Dramatic time.
And unfortunately not accessories. So the larger hopper, it will hold around 250 grams of
the hopper will till 250. Cool.
Until probably the first quarter of next year at some point. All right, so that concludes my presentation here so far. I want to just cover the drop system again. Our first drop of grinders will be 30 units.
Good luck, Acaia, or good luck everyone trying to buy one of these. Holy... Oh my God. Okay, I mean... Good luck. Dude, I don't even know. 30 for now. We're going to get more later. I think that's totally fine. But, okay. Dude, all of the Mazurburrs are so confusing. Like, I'm getting this GF83, and I swear I don't even know. Like, it's like alphabet soup with Mazurburrs. There's like one A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I don't even know anymore. Okay, I really want to buy one. The problem is I don't think I'll be able to buy one. This is going to be hard to get. I think I'll wait for the next drop of grinders, I guess.
US buyers only.
Mazurburrs or SSP naming? they're all bad. They're terrible. I don't know why they just like. Oh man. Yeah, the Burr naming is terrible, in my opinion. It's like we don't even know anymore. I wish like you gotta. I feel like I should just do more of these live streams where I'm just going to get like I'll make a tier list of like how convoluted the namings are, and we'll try to sort things out, right? I'm pretty sure there's more than 30, but yeah, let the pioneers take the arrows. Yeah, like. I have a feeling that if you bought one of these and you had problems with it, they would take care of you. I think that's my experience with Acaia stuff. None of my Acaia stuff has ever broken, but obviously a grinder is very complex. More so like you're shipping a boutique item that is very expensive to folks. But they've already done like items. I feel like they've already done things like the Orion and things like that are already relatively complex. And yeah, but we will have to see. Hey, it's Steve. I have I spent the last hour talking about you. Can I take one from your house? You have 3 of them. Can I show up and buy one off your hands? I'll do it if that's an opportunity. I've actually only had 2 coffees today. I'm drinking this coffee from Say. I brewed it on the Cup Demo. It was awesome. But I'm probably going to wrap up really soon because I have a meeting
next week
in a little. But yeah, this is going to be really interesting. I mean, honestly, good luck to the team at Acaia for launching. And like, now this has turned into Steve reacts to Brian reacting to Steve reacting to the Orbit. Yes, we've gone multiple layers now. But yeah, I mean, I think I just am very curious what's going to happen when this launches. I feel like this is a really great price point, though, because we don't have anything between P64 levels of grinder, which have great support, and like Ode, right? Like there's like the Ode, which doesn't work for Espresso, and then you have the P64, right? So this comes in between there, right? Like if you don't want to have to spend the money and time to put in work, you can like confidently buy one of those. You can buy one of these, and I think the price point is actually such an attractive thing. Look, my initial reaction to this was like $13.50 from a company that cares about you. That's good. And also the fact that these are coming from the U.S. is like a big one. That like the reason why I've been a little hesitant on like trying to get some of these other grinders is just like, man, if something breaks, you're SOL. Or like, do I really want to have to ship a grinder back to Asia or to Europe or something like that? And you know, I speak from this as a U.S. customer, so I like that this is in the U.S. That's like that just really sets my mind at ease. But yeah, like this is that grinder between that DF64 and JT64 and the P64. But it's like, if you just remove the context of price here and you just look at like confidence in purchasing / if some shit breaks, right? This is way better. So I think the price point is great here. I'm just really curious about like, does anyone know what the cost, or Steve, if you're still in here, do you know the cost with SSP? Because you can buy it with SSP, I think. Like, is it $1,500 or is it like $1,550 or is it like, you know, $1,600, $1,700? I still think like, yeah, like I don't know what the pricing is. Okay, but yeah, they're working on it, you know, totally understandable. But I think a lot of people or at least like people who would be interested in this would be their first foray into like maybe 64 millimeters, or you have a ton of other stuff and you already have 64 mil like SSPs and you just like toss them in here. But I'm more so interested in the fact that this makes RPM profiling and RPM adjustments very easy. I don't think there's no other grinder like this right now that gives you so much flexibility in adjusting RPMs easily. And you actually know what the numbers are, which is like a big value. But yeah, it could be P64 priced. I guess you have to buy P64 from Prima. So that's like of concern, but yeah. Okay, we're catching up on chat. My screen of this. Oop. Okay. Dude, everything's like Apple nowadays. But yeah. Okay, I'm like debating if I should share some other stuff where it's like it was really curious to like, I'm just catching up on a lot of the Discord discussions on this. It's really interesting to see people were like, oh my God, 30 units? Yeah, I totally agree with that, but I don't know. I think this is a good buy. I actually think this is a really good buy if you can buy one. As much as I want to like the Zerno, it's just like, man, it took them way too long. Like all Zerno needed to do was get a guy like Steve and actually grind some coffee through the grinder. Like, I feel like if they just did that at the very beginning, they would have solved a lot of problems with buyer confidence. Hoon, if you get one, I will get one. I would, if we can buy one, I would love to buy one. I guess we can try. We'll try on the 29th, and we'll see. Let me see if I can like bring up this this email. We have to look at the
shipped from our fulfillment center in California. We will also be including a free swag kit for Eclipse buyers for the first 500 grinders. Those will ship
swag
from
kit
so we ship
for.
separately.
I want the swag kit. That's why.
Just to explain the U.S. restriction, this is mainly a support concern. This is our first grinder. We're very
Let's see if this works. Here we go. So, 6 days. Steve, did you make this email? What are these colors, man? "27th, not 29th. Oh God, wrong date. I'm just saying things. I'm caffeinated. They're fun candy colors. Dang. Okay. I guess we can try buying this. 27. Oh my. There's no way I'll get one. This is like one orbit page. So what we have to do is you'll have to add this to your cart. Like, we should map this out, right? So we have to, this is probably going to say add to cart. I say this as a previous e-commerce professional. So this is what's going to happen, right? You're going to be on this page and like, okay, so there's another screen here. So you have to add to cart, view cart, proceed to checkout, then into Shopify, then you can do the Express stuff. 1, 2, 3. Okay. That's That's a few steps there. So let's see. Yeah, we have to map. We have to do the. No, but see, the Cafetech site is add to cart and then check out, right? This one is we have to. This is unexpected here. This right here, like you need to make set your mouse to a really high DPI so we can do like a frame perfect flick here. Like you need to like flick this here, and then you need to hit view cart, and you have to hit proceed to check. Oh, okay, dude, that shit right there. Do you see this plugin loading? The proceed to checkout button moves. Yeah, so if I disable all of the, yeah, because this plugin has to load here, or like the Shopify app thing, the script stuff. Then I hit proceed to checkout. Then I can hit Shop Pay, PayPal, Google Pay, Meta Pay. What are you guys? What are you guys doing? Meta Pay, is that a thing now? Oh my god! I wonder how much they charge you for Meta Pay, or like what the the deal is with that. Anyway, okay. So let's map this out again. So you need to be on this page. You need to. I would probably recommend you clear your cookies before you do this. Yeah, we can do like a task. Yeah, but task is no fun, man. Okay, so this will switch to add to cart. We add to cart. The window pops up. Then we have to navigate to the cart, and then we check out. Then we use Google Pay. Now the question here is, the speedrun optimizations here. They're like two. I can't show you because I'm not. I would do it on my phone. There are two like speedrun techniques, right? You can do Apple Pay on your phone, and then that will do the payment faster. So out of curiosity, I'm just going to go to the Acaia website on my phone, and we'll see if the add to cart pop-up shows up and where it shows up on your phone, because it should be faster to go and actually... Oh god, we have weird people in this chat. All right, I can ask people on my live stream chat. Okay, here we go. So I have a meeting really soon, so I'll need to head out. But let's map this out. So we have this here. Wait, hold on. Let me make this bigger. Okay, so let's like map this out, right? We have this here. I hit add to cart. Then I hit view cart. Then I hit, oh, you got to scroll down. Okay, if you're on mobile, you'll need to scroll down. And then you'll need to hit proceed to checkout. Then everything shows up. So that's like interesting. Okay, all right. We'll think about that. I'll debate if I want to purchase it or not. But anyway, right. So with Shopify, you have to buy. That's just the reality of Shopify. Is like there's no reservations. It's orders placed. This is how it works. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, I definitely want to thank everyone for being here. I have to run to a meeting, so yeah. But otherwise, thanks everyone for tuning in. Thank you, people who hung out. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you, Min, for donating. That was the first any amount of revenue I've ever gotten from from YouTube stream. But all right, guys, I'll see you guys around. I think we'll try to buy one. I'll let you guys know. I'm not sure yet. I need to think about if I want to spend that much money. And I also will need to figure out how to like not get doxxed on the payment side of things, live streaming it. Anyway, see you guys later.